So you've come to my video because you have a sink that is slow to drain or not draining at all. And you want to figure out how that you can fix this. One of the solutions is you can buy something like Drano. And what Drano does is you pour it on the sink or in the sink, and it sits in your trap down below the sink, and it dissolves all the gunk, toothpaste, spit, hair, all that type of stuff. However, Drano is like 15, 20 bucks, and it probably doesn't solve all of your problems. It may get you by, but it's probably not going to solve your problem all the way. The biggest problem that you're going to have is a lot of your gunk and all that is stuck on a P-trap. This is what this is called, and this is below the sink. And what this does is it keeps water right here, so that way their sewer gases don't come through and go through the drain here, so you're not smelling the sewer gases. And so this keeps water in it just right here, and this gets all filled with hair, spit, mix of toothpaste, whatever you put down the drain. Another thing is this stopper right here will also get stuck up with hair and all that stuff too. So what we're going to do in this video is show you how to remove this and clean this, and also how you can remove the stopper and clean that out. Because I guarantee you 99 out of 100 times, if you clean out the P-trap and clean out that stopper, you're going to solve your problems. So the first thing you want to do is I always just clean out my surface area or my sink area and make sure there's no water sitting in the sink drain, or at least the sink basin. If there's any water in here, I try to scoop it out with a cup or get it out with a plunger or whatever. Make sure I get maybe a towel, get all the water out of here, because once you undo the P-trap, all the water that's sitting in here, if it's still sitting in here, is going to come through into your cabinet. All right, so as you can see, I cleaned all this out already. Didn't let you see any of that. It's stuffed full of just a bunch of stuff. You can kind of see a little bit. It looks like there was a leak of some sort at one time of water, but this is where the hot and cold water comes into the sink, and then you got your drain. So it comes here, drains back to the sewer, the main drain. So you got the P-trap here that we're talking about. And so what we're going to do is we're going to loosen this nut and this nut, and they loosen lefty-loosey, so they're going to go this way, and then this one's going to go also this way as well. And we're loosening those out and drain this, whatever's left in here, and clean this out. You can see right there, someone's put some tape on it, or it looks like plumber's putty of some sort, or glue. You don't need to do that. I'm not really sure why they did that. And then we were talking about the stopper. That is done by this mechanism right here, if you can see that back there. So that unscrews right here, and you can pull that stopper out. That's what allows the top, when you pull that stopper up, it pushes the stopper in the drain down so you can fill the sink up with water. So the tools that I use are, I get some rubber gloves, something, so that way, because it's not fun, not clean. I get a bucket so I can put that underneath, so that way when I undo that, those nuts, and I pull that out, it drains into the bucket and not into my cabinet. And then sometimes those nuts are a little bit tight, so I get a pair of channel locks. That way I can loosen those nuts. And last but not least, I get like a flathead screwdriver or something that I can do so I can shove down the drain from above, so that way I can clean that out. Because once we get this done, we'll get the stopper out and clean the stopper out, and then we'll make sure that there is a clean path in this drain to make sure that nothing's sticking on that area. So hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. It's kind of a different angle here. Let's see if I can move it a little bit. But what we're going to do is remove this nut. Oh man, that's tight. There it goes. It's loosening. And as you loosen it, you're going to get a little water coming out. As you can, I don't know if you can see that already. There it comes out. You can also put a towel down in the cabinet as well. We're going to loosen that all the way until it's loose. There it is. So move that out of the way. Now, I did try to loosen this with my wrench earlier, And it's just stuck. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to replace this piece, which I have another piece, and I'll show you how to do that. And it's essentially the same. If you can get that loose and pull this out, putting the new piece in is the exact same as putting this back in. So at least you can stick with us here. But if this is stuck, I'm just going to pull it down here. Oh, you can see already what's going on there. So I'm going to dump that in there. I don't know if you can see in there. There's disparity a little bit here, but there's a bunch of gunk in here. And we're going to replace this anyways, so this is going to be clean completely. As you can see here, this nut here has a little gasket washer here. You're going to put that gasket washer on here. This does not have a gasket washer. This has got gunk in it too. Ugh. I'm going to clean that out. So we're going to pull this out. You can still, oh my gosh. Ugh. Blah. So we're going to go ahead and loosen and get that drain stopper out and clean this pipe right here, because it's got a bunch of stuff in there, which is good to see because it is clogged. So it's good to see. Now, keep in mind, we no longer have a drain in here or a way to drain it. So if you do run the sink, it's going to dump water. Well, at least since we have the bucket here, it'll dump in the water, or dump the water in the bucket. All right, so we're going to loosen this nut. We're going to loosen that nut. And we can kind of pull that out. And it's got this little ball. It's a stopper of some sort to stop the water from coming out that end. So once we got that loose, we can actually come up to the top. All right, so now we got up here the drain. So you're gonna have to kind of go underneath the sink and pull out that rod, because it's got a, I'll show you, it's got a little notch in this thing. But once you get that rod out of there, pull it out. Look at that. It is just filled with gunk. You can already kind of see a bunch of stuff there too. So you can see here that rod goes in right there. So it kind of right in there to help push this thing up and down. So I'll be right back and clean this real quick. And then I'll show you what we're gonna do to clean that. And we'll get this all put back together and a new P-trap installed. And just so you're aware, the P-trap that I bought it's like $5 at Home Depot, Lowe's, Ace. Ace might be a little bit more expensive. So you might just go ahead and buy a new one. That way you get a clean install and everything else, but it's up to you. Now we can get the stopper installed. We're gonna get the delta facing out towards us. So we're gonna put it in like this. And what we're gonna do is underneath the sink, that rod, we're gonna fit it in here. So basically we're gonna put this all the way down and we're gonna fill for that. And then once we get that rod in there, we can pull up on the stopper on the back side to see if it actually connected. Got it. So now I should be able to I wanted to show you, here's all the gunk and mess that came out of that drain. I cleaned it the best I could with what I had, but even then, it's still kind of, I mean, it'll drain now. So that's what was in there. So now we need to put a P-trap back in here. So we're gonna take this P-trap, the new one, and then basically this little flange right here, it will sit right up in that flange, and then I can take this and screw it onto this piece right here. As you can see here, this is loose. You need to find out if this is 1.5 inches or 1.25 inches. It shouldn't matter too much because they give you 2 different gasket sizes. Got the 1.5 inch gasket right there, and then you have the 1.25 inches, and you'll figure that out. It's 1.25 inches. So now we're going to take
the screw or the nut and put it up on there. And then we're going to take the gasket and put it up on there as well. So now that gasket will sit right inside in here with that little flange. So now I'm going to go ahead, and so this is made so that you can move this up and down based on where this is. So, because this could be lower, this could be higher, you can move this up and down. So I would get this kind of loose, ready to go, so you can move it up and down on this, and then that way this is ready to go, and we get this side tight. That's what I'm going to do here. So we're going to go ahead and kind of get us going here. There's a good place right there. Kind of get it flush there. So now I can take this nut and get that started. Now that might take a little bit of time here to get that flush and ready to go. A little finagling, but there it goes. Should be good to go. So we're going to tighten these as tight as we can with our hands. I mean, you shouldn't need anything else to tighten it up. But what we're going to do is tighten them up and then drain or put water in the drain and see if it leaks. What I like to do is fill the sink up with water with the stopper down and then pull the stopper out or loosen the stopper up and then let it drain and make sure that there's no water coming out. And if there's a little bit, make sure these are tighter and go from there. And that's better off if you get this flange flush on there and this tight, and we'll be good to go. There we go. So we're good. Make sure there's no water on it already, because that'll give us a false positive there. And now, pull up the stopper, give it, fill up with water. And this would be a good time to test it out to see if it drains quick. This is good enough here. And then we're going to go ahead and push the stopper up. Look how quickly that drains. So now, underneath, we check to see if there's any water leaks. There isn't. So we're good to go there. Now, you know how to replace a P-trap or clean it out and clean the clogs out. If you have any questions or comments, maybe some quick tips, go ahead and put in the comment section below. If this is your first time to my channel, please consider subscribing for more tech reviews, home automation, home and automotive how-to repairs. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.